Good morning, guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Nice little session last night to refresh our minds. And now today off with Tesla up 55 points, right? So the flow that we saw about 3 4 weeks ago, we mentioned in our premium chat, and we now know why that flow was coming in, right? Obviously Tesla ran a lot already, and now it's up another 55 points. But we'll go over Tesla in a bit. But first, as usual, let's just go over our SPX. So I'm sure if you're in our premium chat, you've been over the gamma report, right? Here is bull flagging. I covered most of these details last night. I covered a bull case scenario on SPX, right, going to the top side, sideways, or maybe downside, right, or maybe bull flag. Whatever happens here, then we see we go up or down in the coming days. Let's see how this forms and how this plays out. Right now, the market overall is bullish. There's bullish news coming out, right? I don't know if you guys been reading the news from Japan. Bank of Japan, they announced something with their yen, right? That we can maybe go over in a day or two. I'm still reading a lot into it before I make any comments. But that's something that you should definitely read. It will have a huge impact on the markets, right? It's actually overall a bullish news for the U.S. stocks. But SPX levels for today are, first we have the 4540, right, which I think we should be opening around here, flat from Friday. So 4540 will act as support and resistance at first. 4500 should not break. All right, 4500 should not break. If 4500 breaks, then the JPM collar comes into play. All right, 4510, 4500 level, if that breaks, right, there's a good chance that there could be a flush all the way towards 4400 as per gamma. All right, as per gamma. So 4500, we must hold above it. As long as we hold above 4500, the market should continue going down. But if we break 4500, then you want to be careful. You just want to have the 100-point downside in your in the back of your head. And you know what? I think it makes sense to come at least retest these levels here, right? It would make sense instead of just going straight up, right? Because then the fall will not be good. So it's better that we test 4400 faster, bull flag, and then break out if the market has to go higher, right? And then the top side, obviously, we have 4600, and then obviously 4650 if we hold. Now there is some negative gamma. There is still some negative gamma. There are people that are still holding some puts. If they decide to close those puts, then obviously that can fuel a little bit of a rally to the upside today. All right, the volatility is not expected. There's not a lot of high volatility that's expected. However, options are open. If the puts get closed, there are people still holding puts, then today is Monday or maybe Wednesday, Friday, one of those days, we call them banner rallies. So we might get a little small rally with one of those during the day sometime. All right, so just keep that in mind. Overall, the market is holding well to the upside. The only one thing that I do want to point out is this could be forming, right? I think most technical traders will see this right off the back, right? And if something like this forms, right, then we see what happens in the coming weeks. You all know what this is. Is it always true? Most of the times, but it does not have to be true. But it's just an opportunity, something you should keep in the back of your head. All right, and next, I'll just go with Qs as well. Again, a little hanging man candle. So we might retest on tech because Apple is down a bit. Pre-market is down due to Apple. I think they're cutting some iPhone sales, the SES model, right? So don't get confused. They're cutting some models with the Ukraine, Russia, the Asian tensions. Let's see how much that really impacts. But Qs also needs to hold above this 50 MA. As long as we hold above this 50 MA, I think we are still in bullish structure. All right, and obviously live on voice chat we'll cover these as we go on the day. So as long as we hold above this zone, we flag above it, the structure is bullish. I think we see more upside then. All right, then we see coming days how everything forms. IWM gave up the most gains, I think, and right now it's just trying to get right here. This is become strong resistance now, and the number on IWM that you want to look for is 209. 209 is the most important number in my opinion. I think any technical analysis or people that are good at it, they should be around a 209 level that needs to get through. 209 plus hold, then we can see 217, I believe, first, which would be roughly the 200 MA, and then above that, obviously, there's more room to the upside. But 209 plus hold is the first level that I want to see for upside. At 209, also, if we approach 209 today, is a good short scalp opportunity. All right, even if you catch 50 cents move to a downside on a scalp, you can make a lot of money on options. IWM options move really well, and they're very rewarding when you catch them at good levels and you're on the right side. IWM is one of the best options of trading, rewarding ticker in the market, I think. All right, so keep an eye on this. And then we have Tesla stock split. Now, last time this name announced split, it ran crazy, right? There was a huge run up into the stock when they announced the split, right? You guys all remember that from some time ago. If we go back, I think TradingView gives the split date right here. So before it split this day on the 27th of August, I believe, right? Or August 31st, all right, when they split. Before the split happened, there was a huge run that took place, all right? The stock almost pretty much doubled. They announced the split. Now, does the same hold this time? I don't know, right? But what we have seen lately, Google, Amazon did not do much on the stock split initially, but Tesla's, I think, is a different kind of breed. People are in love with this name, and obviously everyone wants to get it on the board. But 1070 is not an easy number on Tesla. Just remember that. 1070 is not an easy number, all right? It is not an easy number. So if Tesla can hold above 1070 and flag, this can see 1100 and 1200, right? But 1070 will be very hard resistance. So let's see how far this goes. It's still 55 points, and I think 1040 retest would be a good scalp. Would be a good scalp to upside, or even a hold if the market holds, because Tesla can run. Or maybe it gives no dip, it just runs straight. I have no idea what it's going to do. But if it gives us 1040 in the market on a retest, you want to see it. You want to see how the market is holding. Obviously, don't just blindly jump in, right? At 1040, if we get the retest, this is where you want to see a good scalp to the upside. You catch it to the upside towards 1070, 30, 40 points. And that can pay really well. So this is what I will be eyeing today, 1040 on Tesla. And then let's see where it goes, right? And their split, I think they're going to vote in the next meeting. The other two split names that we have are Amazon. They haven't done much yet, right? They're still here in their zones. And Amazon is just bull flagging. If we can hold above this 200 MA, it's very simple on Amazon. We hold above this 200 MA. We have a closing here. It's worth a shot going to the upside. Unless they fake us out. Let's say they close the candle here, they fake us out and they bring it down. That's a different story. But if we can get above the 200 MA and we can hold above it, I think this stock can run them in the coming weeks, right? There are a lot of bullish news in the market right now. The market is holding well, so there's no reason to just see downside. Only keep your options open. This is one name that I'm paying attention. Maybe far out, I can do spreads. Maybe I'll do 3,600, 3,700, 2 months out call spreads. So let's see what I come up with, but I'm probably going to make a play on Amazon sometime soon this week. It'll be a swing play most likely. Google also holding well. It's above the 200 MA, so that's something I want to see on Amazon. Above 200 MA, hold a flag and then break out. But Google on the weekly looks much better, right? Nice little break on the upside, and we went over this last night also. But here we're just in the resistance zone. So with the split, I think it helped. The splits are all the way in June, so we have April, May, June. So 3 months or 2.5 months, depending on what day in June they're announcing the split, right? So as long as Google holds above these levels, I think it's worth a shot. This can run 300-400 points all the way towards 3,200, 3,400, basically all-time highs, right? And I think that can happen. And the way the market is looking, to be honest, I think we stay strong into summer and then we see what happens in August, September. That's just how the market is looking right now. But obviously, if we break certain levels on SPX, then I will change my stance, right? For now, the market is holding. Gotta respect the hold and go along with it. Apple is down a bit. Pre-market is down, I think $1 or $2, which is fine. It's nothing big. Apple had an amazing run the last 8-9 days. How many green days? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green days. Right, so it needs to cool down, obviously, and it's opening here in the pre-market, just here, this zone right here, right, the magnetic zone right here. And I think if it can retest 170 and just bull flag here, this is another name that I'm probably going to look to get long. If it can bull flag here and we hold the market and it takes out the highs of Friday, then this can probably play towards all-time highs also. Because on the weekly, it looks absolutely beautiful, right? It looks really good on the weekly, a nice little retest of the 50 MA. And now if it gets above these levels and it holds, it's worth a shot. I will keep a stop loss on this, obviously, and then we can maybe swing this thing, right? But obviously, I will keep a stop loss in case the market does turn around, then there's not much support to the downside. The market will flush fast in the coming weeks based on gamma, right? Unless when they start buying more puts. So Apple, keep an eye on it. I'm probably going to go long this name in the coming weeks as well. Nvidia is another name that can run big. This saw a lot of call buying as well. Options, right? I don't know how many of you guys follow gamma, but Nvidia is one name where call buying has been going on. So Nvidia, if it holds, I'll just go on a daily chart. On the daily, it's holding the 50 and 200 MA just a kiss and a reverse, which is usually bullish. You will see this many times in the market where these averages don't really cross. They just kiss, they reverse, right? And they just go back to their regular formation, right? And then the 200 just goes along like this. So something like this is possible. If this happens, then obviously NVIDIA above the high of Thursday, I would say March 24th. If we take over this high, then we have a long way to go to the upside, right? And GME also has call buying going on, and keep an eye on this name if you play this stock. I personally don't play this stock, but you can probably play equity on this stock, but maybe keep a $5-7 stop loss to the downside, and to the upside you can probably catch $15-20 if they squeeze it, right? So another name that you want to keep an eye on. A lot of volume has been coming in, and then something that I do want to cover is oil. Now Shanghai in China, they announced lockdown. Oil is down. I mean, they will bring out whatever news possible to play with this market, basically, if you guys see how everything's making sense. On oil, I can tell you on the March 23rd, so you guys can keep an eye on this. March 23rd highs get taken out. Not here, right here. So March 23rd highs is what you want to keep an eye on oil. March 23rd highs. If they get taken out, be careful. Then obviously market can always see the reverse, right? So March 23 highs is what you want to keep an eye on oil. This candle right here, this big green candle. If the highs of this gets taken out, then we're probably going to squeeze again on oil. Very likely, it's a very typical pattern forming if that happens. So March 23 highs, I would put an alert on whatever stock that you follow for oil, right? It could be OIL, USO, whichever one that you follow on crude, all right? But this March 23rd highs, keep an eye on this. And then BTC has been doing good lately. As long as we hold 46K, I think is the number, right? As long as we hold above 46K, 46K hold, we should see strength, right, towards 50K. Now at above, we do have this 200 MA on the daily. Let's see if it gets taken out. So far, we broke above these resistances, and now 46K is just an important hold. We hold above this number, we go much higher, all right? So keep an eye on Bitcoin stocks. Mara, Riot, all these names can pay really well. I think if we see something, we will definitely alert, right? And but 46K is the must hold. We continue holding above 46K. We see strength. It finally broke out. Does it come back and retest this level of 47, 46? It probably can, right? So if it does retest, it will be a good buying opportunity, I think, going long. So if it does come and retest this level, and then we see a green formation like on an hourly candles, maybe about 2 hour, whatever you want to follow, then we can probably see a higher move on Bitcoin, right? There's money that's coming out of bonds, so where does it go? Stocks, crypto, what else is left, right? So keep that in mind. And anything else you guys want to cover? Not much. Well, premium voice chat, we will be on. We did the session last night, actually covered a lot of things. And just manage well, go with good size. Everything looks bullish, that's when they catch you off guard. Always remember that line. When everything looks bearish, that's when they catch you off guard for bullishness, right? So just keep that in mind, always be prepared. In case of anything, any bad news, many headlines. Just don't forget where we were a month ago and where we are, all right? Things can turn like this. And SC, yes, that's something I do want to cover. They shut down their operations in India, and I think SC is going to come fill this gap towards 93, 92. That fills this gap, it makes a nice little strong base, and then we can probably play to the upside. This gap right here. But maybe it fills this gap, comes up, and then the 50 MA will be here somewhere, and then maybe it goes long. So SC, just give it some time, let it get some positivity, or maybe at least get it above 50 MA on the daily, and then we can see to play out long. All right, but with this, guys, thank you so much. Premium voice chat will be on, and manage well.